right, good morning, kids. We are ready to move on to our next project, and it is going to be on symmetry. Now, I know you're probably thinking, learned this already in 6th grade, and you did. You learned this kind of symmetry, where something is the same on one side as it is on the other, and there's a line of symmetry in between. Okay? And you can see these different things match up on either side. But in 7th grade, we move on to a little bit more of a complex idea of something called radial symmetry or rotational symmetry, where things are the same going around in a circle. And in the middle, there's a central point called the axis. And all these different shapes and things kind of rotate around that axis, kind of like your bicycle or skateboard. The wheel is put onto the bike or skateboard with an axle. The wheel rotates around the axle. That's the middle of the wheel. Okay? So this is called the axis. And you can see that things are flipped as they work their way around. And that is because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of symmetry or mirror lines. Okay? And all of you have this in your folder. You will also have a piece of tracing paper. You will need 2 pieces of tape, which should be stuck to your table. School pencil. And then I also have enclosed these 3 resources for you for ideas. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to be working in one of our pizza slices. I like to call this a pizza slice. Pizza has 8 slices. Okay, we're going to be working in this particular one right here. And our magic number for our next step is 10. Now you don't have to write it on your paper, but you are going to look at these and use 10 lines to break up this pizza slice. Okay, we're starting with line. So I don't want you to copy me. I want you to do your own, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to look through one of these sheets, and the first thing I noticed was a zigzag. So I'm going to go with that. And whatever you do, all the lines you make must connect from one line to another line. Okay? They may not float in the middle of space. So let's say I want to do my zigzag this way. Start at one line, end at the other. And then maybe I just want to do a swirly line that goes in and back out again. And I like the castle line, so now I can start working from line to line again. So I have 3 lines so far. Maybe I just want a nice wavy line here. And a curve here. So now I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm halfway there. And kind of like the bouncy line. 1, 2. There's 6 lines. Maybe I want to do a straight one. 7, 8, 9, and I think I'm going to do my 10th one right there. So now you've broken up the space with 10 lines, however you want. Don't copy me. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to go into some of these larger white areas, and you're just going to draw some shapes that work with the space. Do not make anything tiny, tiny, tiny. We're just filling up these empty areas with some shapes to make it less boring. Once you get to the point where it's pretty detailed, okay, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks, okay, that's when I want you to get your tracing paper, okay? You're gonna hit the pause button after I give you this instruction and take care of it. You're gonna take the tracing paper, you're gonna place it over your design like this. You're going to take those 2 pieces of tape I was talking about and gently, don't push too hard on the tape, tape it down. It's just tracing paper, so if you push too hard on the tape, it's going to tear it up when you try and take it off. Alright, so I've got my tracing paper over my picture. I'm going to take my school pencil and pressing relatively hard, I am going to trace all of the lines and shapes that I created in this picture. Every single one, staying right on the lines and pressing pretty hard, but not so hard that you tear up the tracing paper. Again, please try and stay on your lines as best as your fingers and hands will allow. It's important. So go ahead and hit the pause button and begin to trace all these items. Okay, so I've traced all my things in my little picture. I did not trace the pizza slice because these should all be exactly the same, and I don't really need to because the lines are already on the paper. So now we're going to take our tape off very gently and carefully, put it aside, you're going to use it again. Alright, now our next step is to take this picture on our tracing paper and flip it over. And then you're going to line it up opposite the one you just finished. And instantly you have symmetry. Okay, now it might not be absolutely perfect, but do your best to get it where it needs to go. And then you're going to tape it down in 2 places so it doesn't move. And you're going to start your first transfer. You are essentially cheating, kids. You don't have to redraw anything. You're just tracing over all these lines, but you must make sure that you stay right on top of them or it won't work. So you can go ahead and hit your pause button and trace every single line and shape that you created in your first triangle on this tracing paper, just like I am doing right now. If you get off a line, you're going to have to go back and fix it. And what's happening is, once I trace all these items, it transfers onto here. Okay, so go ahead and take care of that step, and then I'll show you what to do on the next one. Okay, so I've traced all my lines and shapes. I'm going to very carefully remove the tape again. Again, we're going to reuse the tape, so don't rip it or throw it away or anything like that. All right, and if I take this off, and if I did it right, I should see all my little pictures. Yay, there we go. Now, at this point in time, you now have pencil on both sides of this, okay? So what you're going to do for the rest of this project, before we add color to it, is you're just going to keep taking this off, flipping it, and putting it in the next one, lining it up as perfect as possible, taping it down, and tracing everything. Then take it off, flip it over, and put it in the next one and trace everything. Now, as you're doing this, you are more than welcome to stop tracing at some point and start going over all your lines that you have with an extra fine skinny Sharpie, a black one, which I have for you. That'll break up the monotony of tracing over and over again. So don't go back over these with your pencil and make them darker. Use a skinny Sharpie for that step. Okay, and you're going to continue to trace and flip and Sharpie all the way around till you are at your last slice right here. Finish that one up, go over it with Sharpie, And that's it for the first stage of this project.